Eneas Naiene with another video. Now we are with I drew heads for a week. What did I learn? First, I would like to say that this video is a part of a playlist here on the channel about human figure in perspective, and I already did an entire video talking specifically about the way that I draw the head. The logic remains the same, but this time I want to cover more practical stuff, because on the previous one I was talking more about the theoretical approach and then I did a quick demo, but on the overview we had like more theoretical stuff than the practical. To receive contents like this, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. On the description will be available the links for my Instagram, Discord server and my Patreon. Like on the previous videos, I normally use references to talk about specific topics. For this one, we will also have references. The first one is a book by Andrew Loomis, Drawing the Head and Hands. Next, we have another reference, the book from Michael Hampton, Figure Drawing, Design and Invention. For the two remaining references, we have two methods to draw the head. The first one, the Riley method, and the second, the Asaru method to draw the head. My goal with this video is to show the one-on-one process that I use to draw the head. I want to go to the more practical stuff, but first I need to cover a little bit of the theoretical approach. For that, we will subdivide this video in two parts. The first part will be to understand the fundamentals. Here we'll use the Loomis and Michael Hampton's method, and on the second part we'll talk about the details and refinement. For that we'll use the two methods, Riley and Asaru. So we can start with the first part about the fundamentals. At this moment, I'm assuming that you already watched some kind of video or tutorial teaching how to draw the head. Normally you have like a series of steps to follow, like draw a circle, draw these three horizontal lines, then draw a vertical line on the middle, connect that point to that point, and yeah. So this works. You'll be able really to draw the head that you wanted to draw on that specific angle. But the point that I want to highlight here is that normally the person that is teaching you to do that specific stuff is simplifying a complex thing, and maybe the source that the person used to simplify that thing is another person that also simplified, and that other person also had the source of one other person and you see what this will end. So we have a lot of persons using another person as a source, and you don't know like the main source. For that we need to go to the books. We need to have like the original source to make sure that we are literally understanding the foundations of the thing that you want to study or to draw. Because when you use the simplified version, you will be able to draw, for example, the head on a specific angle, but when you try to rotate the head to draw on a different angle, you really realize that you was like just drawing the 2D shape rather than understanding the three-dimensionality of the object. To make sure that you will get the best explanation, I'm always sourcing the original book. All the things that I'm talking about here are the knowledge or my understanding from the things that I learned from the books. We will start with the Loomis method. Is one of the most popular methods when it comes to draw the head, but the thing that I want to cover on Loomis method is the way that he simplifies the upper part of the skull with a sphere. So basically Loomis represents the upper part of the skull with a sphere, but he cuts off the sides of the sphere. You can see here on the animation we have a sphere. First, I cut it off the right part of the sphere, then I cut it off the left part of the sphere. Here we are representing a front view of the upper part of the head. So at this point we already simplified the upper part of the skull using the Loomis method. Loomis also talks about a lot of interesting things, but for my own way of drawing, I didn't find like quite interesting to draw on that specific way, following the Loomis rules, but using the knowledge that he shows in the book. The way that I understood on a more clear way how to draw the head was by using the Michael Hampton's method to draw the head. He uses a constructive way of drawing. You start with a basic form or shape, and then you start adding layers of complexity to achieve the result that you desire or you want. We can use as a base the Loomis sphere. First, let's look to the parts that we cut it off. You can see that now we can draw 3 lines, like dividing this section in half, like 2 parts, and then we create 3 lines. These 3 lines represents the landmarks to the head. So the first one on the top represents the hairline, the line on the middle represents the brow, and the line on the bottom represents the bottom part of the nose. And you can see that this region is basically a square. So we can go to Michael Hampton's constructive way and try to simplify this entire modified sphere inside a square or a rectangle. You can see the blue lines wrapping around the sphere, like our modified sphere. We have the vertical line on the middle showing the symmetry line on the head. So we have the middle line, like a vertical middle line, and all of this is inside a rectangle. Now we are trying to simplify this sphere on a shape that we can manipulate easily in perspective. Talking about perspective, you can see now that if we rotate our rectangle, now we are going to perspective. This starts to be more like a cube or a rectangle in perspective, like extruded and converged towards vanishing points. You can see that I represented the front plane on a reddish color and the side plane on a green color. We'll put emphasis on this green part. You remember that we cut it off the sides of the sphere. So the part that we cut it off will create an ellipse on that region that will fit inside this square that is represented in green. That's why we cut it off the side parts of the sphere. To turn the compression easy, let's go to a quick demo. So first of all, let's draw a cube on a tricorder view. We can find the middle of each face but connecting the corners diagonally. So you can see that if we draw like a X on each face, we'll find the middle, and then we can draw a line that passes through the middle point and goes to the right and left vanishing point. And like I said previously on the example, the side plane is represented in green, but if you remember, that side plane is a tiny square inside another square. So here we also need to represent the square inside the other square. So now you can see that if we draw another square, inside of our side plane will have the space to the part that we cut it off our sphere, and here we can draw a ellipse to represent that side part. On the right we have a more cleaned version where the lines are more straighter and like more visible. And the simplified version of this, like the boxy approach, we can go to the more organic approach, like drawing the sphere, then drawing the ellipse on the side, and based on the ellipse finding the middle to draw the line for the brows. On the top part draw the line for the hairline, and on the bottom part draw the line to the bottom part of the nose. So you can see that to understand this, you can first draw this kind of boxy way, and then you can go towards the more organic stuff and drawing the ellipse. So this was the thing that I was talking about. First of all, I went to the Loomis book. I learned how Loomis approaches the ellipse, but for me it's a little bit hard to understand this like on the first try. So I tried to simplify to a thing that I'm more familiar with, like drawing more rectangular stuff. So I went to Michael Hampton's book. I learned how Michael Hampton constructs the thing. So I adapted the Loomis method inside the Michael Hampton method. So now I can go back to the Loomis, but knowing exactly what is behind the simplification. So yeah, now you can understand basically what I'm trying to teach you. And again, you can see the planes represented on different colors, like the front plane is represented on a reddish color, the side plane again on a greenish color. Okay, now we already know how to draw the upper part of our head or our skull. What is remaining is the lower part. I'm talking about specifically the chin area. So the jaw, the chin, all the stuff. So to do that, you can use the same dimensions. I'm talking about the distance between the hairline and the brow line, or the distance between the brow line and the nose line. So you can use this distance and multiply, or use the same distance on the bottom part to find where the chin will be. So the simplified version, we can draw basically complete our cube in perspective, and you can see again this on a more cleaned version on the right, and we can also do this on the organic version. You can see that basically we draw like the center line, then we find the point where we'll have our chin, and then we connect the points. Maybe you still have some doubts, so let me try to show this on a more simplified way and trying to split or separate the upper part and the lower part of the skull or our head. So first of all, we can simplify all by using a rectangle. For the upper part, we can draw like the front, the side view. On the side view, we need to draw another square inside our square, and we can also draw the bottom part representing the jaw. And then you can see that we can do the same thing on a more cleaned version. And if you want to separate these, you can see that on the bottom part of the head, we are not representing like the front and the back part. We removed the back part and we just have like a tiny cube, like extruded, and this represents the area where we'll have the chin or the jaw, like the chin region, the jawline, and all the stuff. And you can see on the far right that we have like the simplified version using the more organic approach, and you can see that this part on the bottom we can represent like on the top part we have like a square, and on the bottom part we have some like a triangle shape that we can use like to represent the jaw. So this is the way that I normally draw the head using the Loomis and the Hampton approach. I'm trying to show like the foundations that I use to draw the head. So okay, now you already know okay how to draw the top part of the head, how to draw the bottom part of the head, how to put this in perspective. Like basically if you try to draw like the cube stuff and place all the things inside, you'll see that the same logic that you use to draw on the front view, you can use to draw the side view and the other view. So now I want to show the other part of the coin, I can say. So what is on the other hand? I'm specifically talking about the part 2 related to detailing and refinement. This is a more practical part. I will show different demos where I was drawing heads on different angles. So let's start with a more simple angle. We are using basically the same angle that I was explaining on the previous example, like using a 3/4 view looking to the left. So you can see that I started by drawing the sphere, then I drew the ellipse on the side, and I found the jaw, the line for the chin. So I divided like our ellipse to find okay where is the hairline, the brow line, the bottom part of the nose, and then I use the same distance to find where is the chin, and with that we can start drawing the jaw and connecting to the left part of the head. So after that I started using the Riley method and the Asaru method to draw the head. You can see that I drew a line starting from the chin going to the ears. You can see that my goal here isn't to draw the ears, but I'm mapping the ears because this shows a lot of the tilt of the head. If we tilt the head on a specific degree, the ears will follow the degree of the tilt. So mapping the ears, like the basic shape, is important. So I learned to do this with the Riley method. So and also we are separating the side plane and the front plane of the head. You can also see that I drew the region for the eye socket with a simplified arch with a tilt. So this is from the Asaru method and also the Riley method. Loomis and Michael Hampton also covers this specific topic, but the way that the Asaru and the Riley method covers this is more interesting for me. And you can see that with these simple planes we start to shape the head. So you can see that I'm using the same logic for the other drawings. Always starting with the base sphere, drawing the ellipse, finding the landmarks, then drawing the vertical line, drawing the basic shape, and then drawing the planes and the ears, eye socket. You will always use the same logic to draw this stuff. And you can also see that we have like an extreme angle where we are looking like down to the head. So again we start like previously, sphere, then drawing the ellipse, find the landmarks, draw the center line, find the point to the jaw, and now this is a trick angle. So you have to think about the bottom part of the jaw has a triangle shape. So it's like a triangle that is more rounded, so a rounded triangle. And you can see that we are using the same logic even to draw from a top view. Again we are using the same logic. The thing that changes is the angle. So we are looking from the top, and on the other side we are looking from the bottom. And you can see on all the demos that I'm doing over here, I'm always using this kind of technique. and you can see that the thing that we covered on the foundation is being applied here, but now we are starting to shape to model the face to go towards the thing that we want. You can also see that for the top part of the head, I'm using the side, like on the side plane, I'm using the ellipse of the side plane as my reference point to cover the upper part of the head. And you can see that we can connect like the upper part of the head with the hairline, and also using the sphere on the side plane. So we are able to separate like 3 planes, like the forehead, the side plane, and the top plane of the head. You can see that I was doing like the same thing for the other examples that I'm showing on the background. I find important to show to you as well how to draw the head from the back, because it's a little bit tricky to think about this, but to do this properly, we need to use that cube that I was explaining previously, like using the Michael Hampton technique. So you can first start to draw the cube and then start trying to place the things inside the cube. I'm using the simplified version, like the Loomis version. So I start by drawing the sphere. I draw the ellipse for the side plane, and then I start mapping like the reference points and draw the vertical line from the front for the symmetry line on the front plane. So we have like a 3/4 view looking to the back, and I also draw like the line to separate the planes on the side view. And for the jaw, we can use that triangle, and we can also use the tilt of the jaw to find the line that will go towards that region on the ears. But this view was quite difficult, so we have another view here on the right that is more clear, but you can see that I'm using basically the same logic. And even if we have like a directly back view, like a linear back view, is basically drawing a front view, but you need to draw the line that separates the ears and the bottom part of the jaw. And you can see that I'm literally using the same logic to draw the different angles. Like the logic remains the same. If you tilt the head, the unique thing that will change is the angle of the ears. So at this point, I think that I covered a lot of the points that I wanted. But the thing that I want to point out or highlight more here is the fact that you need to practice. Like, take the things that I'm teaching you here, go if you can, like if you have the book, or if you can buy the books, like go and read the books by your own, take your conclusions, try, experiment. Because an issue that I faced when I started drawing was that I was normally like watching a lot of YouTube videos, YouTube tutorials, but I wasn't practicing. So I was like, okay, let me watch this video, do a random drawing, and then okay, I already know. The thing doesn't work like this. Like, you need literally to go practice, try, make mistakes, correct the mistakes, and you will evolve, you will improve your skills on the process of trying and failing. Another point is that normally when I'm studying, like, okay, I want to start how to draw the head, I normally like do like a pretty drawing of the head on a specific angle, putting like 1 hour to refine all the things. So this was my, what can I say, my way of thinking on the past. Nowadays I'm going towards another perspective. Like, I prefer to draw more like quick stuff and maintaining like the model of the head that I want, rather than spending like 1 hour, 2 hours just refining a head and don't draw more. I don't know if you are getting me. It's like nowadays I'm practicing more rather than drawing like finalized drawings. So this is another point that I wanted to say to you. So make sure that you are taking your time to practice and don't rush. Like always practice and you will see the results. Another specific point that I want to highlight here is the way that I draw the forehead on my characters. So the forehead that I draw normally is a mix between the Riley and the Asaru method, because if you see the Asaru method is a more squarish forehead, but on the other hand we have the Riley method where we have an ellipse. So I tried to mix the squarish forehead and the ellipse. So again, what I'm doing is mixing. Like the key word to this is like mixing. I'm mixing the things that I learned from Loomis, taking the knowledge from Michael Hampton, taking the knowledge from Asaru, taking the knowledge from Riley, and put all together to make my own way to draw the head. So yeah, it's basically that for this section. But now you can be like thinking, I already saw the Asaru method and that method is quite complicated. Even the Riley method, we have a lot of planes over there. So the Riley and the Asaru method are more to show the planes of the head and to show that the head is asymmetrical. So for me it's easier to go to a more simplified version of these two methods and try to highlight the things that I learned from the methods by putting light and shadow. So here we have a quick demo. First we have a three-quarter view looking to the right. I started by just drawing this V, drawing the ellipse on the side, finding the landmarks, drawing the straight line, finding the bottom part to the chin, and draw the jaw, draw the line that goes to the ears. So this is my first step. Then I started going with the more Asaru and Riley method, like putting more details and like showing where the eye socket will be, where the bridge of like the upper part of like the nose and the middle of the eyes will be, where we will attach the bridge of the nose, how the forehead behaves. So you can see that I'm mixing the Riley and the Asaru method there, but all the things are more pronounced when you try to put a little bit of values. So you can see how this planes behaves. I try to emphasize the plane changes on the eyes. You can see that when we go a little bit down on the head, we have like that plane that is connecting towards the ears. You can see that on the mouth we have a sphere. So the Riley and the Asaru method are here to show us these kind of things. And you can see that even on a different angle, like the head tilting down, we are using the same logic as on the previous examples. And always you can change the proportions, going to the style that you want, going to the reference that you are using. You can elongate the chin, or even elongate the jaw, elongate the forehead, space more the eyes, narrow the space between the eyes. So you can play with this. I'm just showing the way that I normally draw and like the standard head that I normally draw, using these for reference. Yep. So yeah, basically this is all that I wanted to cover here. This is a more relaxed video. I just wanted to show the way that I normally draw the head and how I upgraded my own way to draw the head using these references. And I also wanted to like upload new videos because now I'm putting all the effort on that playlist about studying like HD at home. So to make like new videos and maintain the channel consistent with the uploads, I decided to do this kind of videos and continue our figure in perspective playlist and going to a more practical way, talking about a lot of specific points and taking time to cover that, like each point on a more detailed way. This kind of experience is near to the way that I approach my Patreon videos, but on my Patreon I usually take all the time possible to explain each topic, to emphasize all the variations, the variables, and all the stuff. So yeah, on the Patreon videos I take a lot of time to explain a specific point to make sure that we will all be on the same page. So if you want to learn more about my Patreon content and the things that I cover over there, you can go to my description and yeah, see if my Patreon content makes sense to you. And yeah, if I helped you with this video, consider liking, subscribing to the channel, enable the bell to be updated about new videos. And if you play Fortnite or any game on the Epic Game Store, consider using my creator code. It's showing up here on the screen, Eneas 23. This will help me a lot. So yeah, thank you for watching until now. I see you on the next one. Bye bye.